listening to Ambitious AF, a podcast that will help you level up, find positivity, and put yourself on top right now and every day for the rest of your life. I'm your host, Caroline Lewis, and each week I will bring you a guest or thought that will motivate you to get out of bed every morning with the willingness to succeed. Being ambitious means you are proud of who you are and everything you've accomplished. Only you can make that happen, though. But with the help of this podcast, you will rise to the top. You will find success. You will believe in yourself and manifest happiness. And most importantly, you will become ambitious AF. I know you are eager to begin, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Interview Friday. I am so excited to be talking to Nonie Leonard, and I cannot wait for her to introduce herself because this is a very, very unique industry and unique business that she has going. So she is a life and vision board coach, which if you don't know vision boards, obviously we're going to discuss a little bit more, but they are literally life-changing. So I think I know why she's combined the two together, but that's the whole point of this interview, is just to find out a little bit more about her, how she started her business, how she picked life and vision board coaching, and all of that jazz. So without further ado, Nonie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and please let everyone know a little bit more about you and your business.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Caroline, for having me. I am excited to be interviewed. So I am a vision board life coach, which is, I know it's very niche. I've been looking on Instagram everywhere trying to see. There are some vision board coaches there, but I guess combining the two with life coaching is quite different. And for me, I love vision boards. I found vision boards about 10, 12 years ago now, when literally life was not going great for me. I was a university student, broke, working 2 jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and knew that I wanted to be more in life. I knew that there was more to life than me just going to uni and working 2 jobs. What's the plan after this? And so I just started looking into vision boards, into personal development, self-empowerment, and YouTube was where everything was at that time, because Facebook and Instagram. Facebook was there, but not Instagram. And just started following different people talking about vision boards. And I built my own. My first vision board, I built it in about 11 years ago now. And only last year, when I was cleaning my loft and I looked at it, I found it and I realized, oh my God, I've literally achieved everything on my vision board. And yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So now you're taking that concept and helping others. So the life coaching obviously is through empowerment and just kind of obviously helping them through life decisions, through life happenings. But then specifically, I'm, encouraging them to create their own vision boards. And you're, walking them through kind of, vision boards, I think, are obviously very creative to individual people. But there are some things, there are some suggestions, there are some ways to create them, and as well as look at them constantly in order to make these things come true. And, for those who, let's kind of talk about a little bit more, for those who don't necessarily understand the power of vision boards, because I'm sure some are just thinking I've seen that on Pinterest, right? Because that's probably the most popular platform. So kind of go into a little deeper the true purpose of a vision board and why they work so well.
Okay. So for me, the way I look at vision board, it's more than just pictures and words that look pretty on your phone or on your wall, wherever. It's about really being one with your vision. It's more than just that. It's understanding what it is that do I want to achieve in my life. And I am faith-based as well. So most of the way that I look at a vision board is mostly faith-based in regards to you have to dream big, because why would you dream small? We were not put on this earth so that we can live mediocre lives. We are brought here to have an abundant life. So why would you deprive yourself of an abundant life based on what is your reality right now? So let's bring your dream, your big vision. Where do you see your life? How do you see your life? being? Where do you see yourself being? And what do you have in terms of materialistic things, but also inside? The way I have a 3-step into how I build vision boards and how I work with clients is your vision board should be in alignment with your why, your what, and then your how. So the why is very important, because why do you want that big vision? You know, what does it mean for you to have that big vision? You can have the most amazing vision board, but if it's not aligned to your why, if something happens to sway you from that vision, you will quickly forget about it. But if it's aligned to your why, it will remind you every day, I am waking up in the morning and going to my 9 to 5 because I want to bring this to reality. And hence having the vision board it's about bringing all those ideas in your head into visual representation for you. You know the house that you want because it will give you A, B, and C. And that is your why. So having it on your vision board reminds you that I am trying to work so hard to get a mortgage so I can get this house, so that my family and I can have bigger space, I can get my own office. That is your big why. And that is why you would have that on your vision board. And then the what aspect is, what is it that you want to achieve? Now you know why you want to have this big dream, big life, but what is it in your big life that you want to have? Sometimes you might say, oh, I saw, my best friend, now they have bought a hot tub. I want a hot tub too. But do you really want a hot tub? Is it because you really want it, or is it because your best friend has bought a hot tub and now you're thinking, well, if she can have it, why can't I? That is not a genuine why, because she might need it, I don't know, medical reasons or whatever she might need it for, but you are buying it on the basis of vanity. And yet, if you were to dig deeper into your why and into your big vision, you might realize you don't need that hot tub. You might need something different. And that will bring you more fulfillment than the hot tub. And then the how part is, now that you have this big vision and you know what you want to achieve, how are we going to bring it to reality? Now the strategy then comes into place. So that's how I work with vision boards. It's not just about building it. It's about strategically building it and creating a goal strategy for you to then bring it to reality.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because I do think a lot of people, kind of like what you're saying with the hot tub, they see vision boards on Pinterest and they're like, oh, I'm just going to throw some pictures up of things I want. But it's really coming down to, yes, what you want, but why you want these things, right? I think the why is the most important, like you were saying. And, for everyone listening, this relates to whether you are a 9 to 5 employee or you are running your own business. Everyone should have a vision board, because you have to focus on your why. Why am I living life the way I'm living? Why have I decided to work this job? Why have I decided to start this business? Right? All of these different things, instead of being like, oh, well, I saw this girl on Pinterest, or I saw this person on Instagram, and because they have a hot tub, I want a hot tub, right? That's not like those are more of the materialistic things, which you can have, right, whenever really you want, because when you're so in tuned with your why, and normally some of that results in most of your success in life, income, relationships, like the whole shebang, right? So you can get these things, but a vision board is really, really about just tuning into your emotions and your mindset, not everyone else's that you see online. So, and I think, when people start vision boards, I think it's really important so I'm a vision board fan too. But this is you being like a coach and everything, please like put your input into this. So I think, at least for me, it's important to, start with like a blank canvas. You can do your phone too, but a blank canvas. And literally every word that just pops into my head for, 10, 15 seconds, I'll just write it on the canvas, right? It's almost like a meditation, I guess you can call it. So I just write all these words down, and then I open my eyes and I look at the words, and I then come to, okay, why did my mind put these on the canvas? What is the true meaning behind these? And sometimes you'll find, like, if I wrote $1 million down, I think a lot of people would say that, right? So if I write $1 million, it's like, okay, well, why did I write that? You know, what does that really mean to me? Is it just a materialistic thing? Is it just a societal thing? Or is there a deeper meaning behind wanting to reach $1 million? Right? I think, is that kind of what you're thinking? Yeah.
No, that's absolutely right, because you have to question the things that you want. You know, what do they mean for you? Because as we live our everyday lives, and I don't know the gender of your audience, but we are all my life is affecting someone else. How I do things is affecting my husband, how I'm affecting my kids. So the things that I want, I need to make sure that, are they aligned with my surroundings? Are they aligned with the people that are being directly affected by me? And is it in alignment with their goals as well? Is it in alignment with what they want as well? Because, and I always say this to the ladies that I work with, is if you're single, build your own vision board. And if you are in a relationship, have your own vision board, but also have a family vision board. Because the goals that you will not always have the same goals. And some are individual goals and some are personal goals, are family goals. So have one big family vision board that is aligned to where the family is going, so that you can see how your vision ties in with that. And, you know, I always, like I said, I believe, so there's so much that then goes into it, because it's not just about creating that vision board, it's about believing that I want this $1 million and I will get it because it means A, B, and C to me and my family.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. And you know, we do talk about like attracts like on this, you know, episode or this podcast quite a lot. And it's so true, because I mean, for everyone listening, think of it this way. Even if you have a vision board, a physical piece, like a canvas on your wall, that's energy, right? Because everything's energy. So that energy is attracting different things, like attracts like. So if you have this in your wall, in your family home, and everyone else is, right, surrounding you, your husband or your wife, your kids, you know, your dog, whoever it is, right? They're all technically, energetically connected to everything around you, including that vision board. So when you put things on that vision board, then that, and things that you obviously truly believe in, and you have that full, like you were saying, the why, the what, and the how, then those will start not only attracting to you, they'll start attracting to others, which is a really, really, really cool way of keeping the household positive. You know, everyone going after their dreams, not just you, right? It can affect everyone in your household. So I love that. I love that you brought that up. And okay, so I wanted to kind of discuss when you were saying you found your old vision board and you realized that you hit everything on it, right? Which happens quite a lot. I mean, everyone that I know who does vision boards, they're always like, oh, you know, I always have to update it because I'm hitting things on there, right? So for you, and when you're talking to clients and everything, what do you tell them, I guess, or how do you kind of handle when you do hit a vision board and everything's like, you've accomplished it all? So how do you handle that next step?
So I've had a few that have done that, because now what they've done is they've reached the goal ceiling, the high dream ceiling. And most of them are now saying, okay, what next? I don't know what to do next. I've achieved everything. I'm stuck. And now it's about allowing themselves to not stay in the stuck zone, because they can now get comfortable in that zone and say, well, I've reached everything that I wanted to achieve. I've got that promotion. I've got the house. I've got the husband or the wife. I've got the kids. I've got the money in the bank. But then that's where complacency starts to play in. And it's now about, okay, what's next? So when you had thought about life and you had reached this, where else did you see yourself? It's like going to school. You go to university, you pass your degree, and then you're told what's next. You get that job, you've been there for 2-3 years. what's next? Where do you see yourself? So that's the same way with your vision board. Is if you have achieved all of your goals, it's okay to say, I want to rest for a while, but don't stay in the rest zone too much, because the more you stay in the rest zone, the more comfortable you will get. And sometimes that's when we start taking things for granted because we're not striving for more. And maybe some of your audience might say, well, isn't that just being greedy? Why should I dream for more? It's not being greedy, dreaming for more, as long as it's not coming from a place of selfishness, of saying I. If it's coming from a place I am serving, because your vision board ultimately serves other people. Besides it's serving you, it's serving other people. So it's saying, okay, who do I want to serve next? And how do I want to serve them?
Absolutely.
Maybe it's not about now building a vision board that's aligned to what you personally want to achieve, but maybe it's about building a vision board to how you want to impact everyone else. What do I want to do next? I want to focus on serving in the ministry. I want to focus serving in the charity. I want to volunteer more. How do I want to do that? How does it impact me? Start creating that vision, because we are not just we are goal-oriented, but at the same time, there's more to us than that. We are giving people. We love to bless people. We love to feel like we are changing someone's life. So then start looking at your vision in that way. If there's nothing more personally that you want to achieve, let's look at how you can make a difference in the world.
Oh, yes. Well, yes. I now fully understand, you were 1000% meant to do what you're doing, because that was so powerful. And as you were saying that, I was even like, oh yeah, because that was like a question I was even thinking too, like how often do people get stuck because they've achieved these vision boards, and what do they do afterwards? But you're 1000% right. It's the more you give, right? The more you get. Energy, like attracts like. And when you hit that point where you are totally in tune with mind, body, and soul, and you're just like ready for it, you're driven, you've hit all of your dreams and stuff like that, your goals and whatnot, go give it to others, right? Go help others do what you've just done, because if you can do it, everyone else can do it, right? So I love that. And even creating a vision board of who else do I want to impact. That's something I think I even want to start doing is, here's my personal one, but then who do I want to impact? Who do I want to shape, right? Their life, is it a business? Is it a charity? Is it a church, right? All these different things. How do I want to impact the world? And the world's pretty big.
Yeah.
But honestly, the more people that think and act and take action on things like this, right? The more positivity, the more positive energy, the more things will get done in a positive manner if we can tell the world a little bit more of, even if you've hit your goals, even if you're completely happy and aligned with your life, how can you do that and shape someone else's life? How can you impact the world that way?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's so cool. Wow, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you came on, because I've never had, life coaches in and out, but being so specific around vision board life coaching, because it's really like, it is the foundation. I don't think a lot of people understand that even in your phone, as you go through your pictures, everyone listening, I encourage you to do this right now, unless you're driving, so don't. But if you're going through your phone and you don't have a vision board, just go look at your pictures. See things that you've shared or saved, like screenshots or something like that, and start kind of putting things together and start thinking, open a picture and think like, okay, what was the reason behind saving this photo? Or if you're on Instagram and you're saving something, like saving other people's photos and what on Instagram, go through your collection and kind of ask yourself, why did I save this? Pinterest boards, why did I create this Pinterest board? Because if you start thinking more of the why instead of just what everything is, and the materialistic things, right? And you really, really dive deep into why your mind is deciding to save or pin or tag these specific things, it'll be really interesting for you to kind of just dive deep into your intuition and realize like, oh, well, I think I created this board because I've always imagined myself living in Hawaii. And I know that I have to make this type of income in order to move my family and everyone to Hawaii because I want this house because it'll mean so much for me, So you just start kind of like going down the line. And then from there, of course, put it all on a vision board so that you can physically see it. And actually, before we wrap up, I know I've heard this before. When you physically see something, it's better than just thinking something like text or typing. Can you talk just a smidge more about why that is?
So I think it sends something to your brain, actually, because the way that I always talk about vision boards is I want you to have not just a physical canvas one on your wall. I want you to have it on your phone as your screensaver, on your laptop as your wallpaper, so that you are able to see it every day. It reminds you what you're trying to achieve, and it sends some sort of message to your brain that, okay, we are striving for more. It's like, when you tell yourself, I want to buy a new car, and this is the car that I want. Everywhere you go, you will start seeing that car because you've told your brain that this is what I want to achieve next. And the more you see the vision board anywhere and everywhere on your phone, on your laptop, on your wall, when you're walking down the stairs, it's there to remind you, okay, I am trying to attract this into my life. I am working towards this, because you can just build a vision board, but you can't just leave it there and think everything will magically appear. You need to put in the work. And sometimes putting in the work means looking at your vision board every day. When you're working on a financial spreadsheet, you look at those numbers for hours and hours and hours until, you know them by the back of your hand. And that's the way it should be with your vision board. Looking at it all the time, every day when you walk down the stairs, helps remind you that this is what you're working towards. And anything that you will do, you will find yourself aligning to what you subconsciously, it will be in the back of your mind.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you. You described that a lot better than I could, because I totally forgot about, because I think it just happens so much to me even, is yes, when you're thinking of things, but then when you physically can see them all the time, they'll just start popping up everywhere. Which is it's just like power of, whoever you believe in listening, power of God, power of your spirit, or higher power. It's like they're literally putting it in front of you, so that you cannot miss it. Meaning like you can't not achieve something because it's in front of you. Yeah, it's 1000% achievable. Oh, well, thank you so much, Nonie, for coming on. And before we wrap up, please let everyone know the best place to find you or reach out to you, learn a little bit more, and or just send you like a message or something like that.
Well, thank you first for having me. I've really enjoyed having this conversation. People, you can find me on Instagram. That is where I am, and it's at Life Coach Nonie on there. Nonie. It's on there, and you can also find me on Spotify and Apple Podcast on the Highly Favoured Women Coffee Chat. So that is where you can find me.
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much. All right, before we tune off, any last minute little, like one piece of advice you can give people listening if they are struggling to achieve their version of success?
Your version of success is not the same as your friend's version of success. So don't compare what they are doing to what you are doing, because you are on different parts of life. You have a different purpose. You have a different calling. So really align with what it is that you are meant to do on this beautiful earth that we live on, and align your goals with that as well. And I know that we're starting the second half of the year, so everyone's excited about an amazing end to 2021. Stay in that, regardless of how your goals may take time for them to come to fruition. If it's really what you're meant to achieve and your why is aligned, stay true to that, because your breakthrough will be on its way.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much For everyone listening, please go reach out to Nonie and just let her know how much you enjoyed this episode. I know I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot too, which is always even more fun, right? Little extra bonuses. So please go check her out. And of course, rate and review this episode because it does help us reach and impact more people. And I think that's it. I think we're finished. We're wrapping up. So thank you again, Nonie, and thanks everyone for listening. And I will talk to y'all later. See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you got some value or just feel fired up, I would love for you to take a screenshot and tag me in your Instagram stories. It's always so motivating to see you getting the inspiration you needed to level up for my podcast. I'm going to keep showing up and bringing my best self to these episodes, and I encourage you to do the same. If you think a friend or family member would enjoy this episode, I would love for you to share the ambition. I can't wait to chat next week, but until then, keep being ambitious AF.